Mr. Beecham, we have special guests or special recognition tonight?
Well, our guests are always special, but we have no special recognitions this evening.
And architect's report?
None this evening.
Departmental report?
No, sir.
Your report.
Thank you very much. Under item 7A, just a brief update. Talked to both architects that working on these projects. Actually, there's 3 architects. I apologize. The construction projects that are underway, we are about 90% at Pioneer Park. We're about 90% at Cleveland, and the others are in the 75 to 85% range. So we're getting close. Hopefully, if nothing else, we can move in at the end of the year, and the kids can have an opportunity to kind of get a feel for the new building. It'll also allow us to get all of those portables that are surrounding those buildings out of the way during the summer and get them relocated where they need to be. The project that is the furthest from completion is MacArthur High School, and it's probably 75 to 80% should be finished. They started painting walls. They're making good progress as the others begin to ramp down. That one is ramping up because it was the last one to get started. Under item 7B this evening, we have an information item. The state requires that we present this information to you. There's not any action that needs to be taken. It is the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education Remediation Report. You can find that on page 1 behind tab 7B. It's actually, I guess, on page 2. Just a brief report outlining for you the students that had to take remediation classes that attended school here in Oklahoma that we're aware of. The bad part about this information, and you can, anytime a student has to take remediation, that's not good information at all. But the bad part about it is that you'll notice it's almost 3 years old by the time it is sent to us by the region. So it's real hard to know if the things you've done in the last year or two are making a difference, and obviously you always try to look at these things and make sure you make the proper adjustments, but we won't know for 2 or 3 years whether what we did last year is going to have an impact on our students and their remediation. But it is required by law that we present that information to you. Wanted you to have that this evening. Mr. Smith is here. If you'd like for him to be the first one to speak from the podium in our new setting, he would be glad to do that, I'm sure. So, Kyle, anything you want to say this evening? You get to be first.
The new podium. For the most part, like Mr. Beecham said, it's always 2 years behind on that. You will find that the college remediation rate for most high schools in Oklahoma is about a quarter to a third of our students are remediated in some subject when they go to college. Math is the most remediated subject in college, and you'll find that across the state and across the country as far as remediation rates. And, of course, the other part that I'll add to this is that colleges get to charge our kids another class credit to take, and they've steadily raised the remediation rate or the ACT score that you have to get in order to get in a regular class and not have to be remediated. And so, is it to some extent the raising of the bar and also the amount of money that, with state cuts and everything? I'm just throwing that out there. Not that necessarily is true, but as educators in high school level, as a high school principal, that's always been one of my questions when I speak to Cameron or OU representatives about our remediation rate and how it's risen over the last several years as far as the ACT score that they accept to get in a regular class. So I'll just throw that in. That's my 2 cents. Any questions I can answer for you?
Do they have a comparison with other high schools and throughout the state? Is that information available?
Yes, it's on the State Regents website, and anybody can go to State Regents website, list the remediation rate. Like I said, for the most part, it's 25 to 30% remediation rate across the state, especially for math on that for high schools.
If you would like, we can email you the website that you can go to find that information, and we're glad to do that. One of the things, thank you, Mr. Smith, you did a great job breaking that podium in this evening. One of the things I would share with you regarding the remediation report, it is, even though it lags a long way behind, it does give us an opportunity to know if our students are comparable to the other students in the state. Even though it's 3 years back, we can still look and see if they're performing at the same level. Now, is that the acceptable level? Obviously, we don't want it to be. But it does tell us that on average, we're pretty much in the ballpark with schools that are better funded than we are. Unfortunately, some that are not funded as well as we are do as well as we do. So it gives us at least a gauge to see where we stand with the group. And we will continue to monitor that. You have to be careful with statistics, as Mr. Smith said. Some of these remediation classes, because the standards have been raised, there are more students taking them, and they do not count toward graduation for the students. They do not get credit toward college graduation for a remediation class. So it is just simply an investment, time, energy, and effort on the part of the student and money.
Is this a remediation class that will enable them to get into college or just to enable them to graduate high school?
It is a remediation class that will enable them to take, for example, in math, almost every university has a minimum math requirement. It is college algebra that you have to pass as a minimum standard. This will enable you to get into that class. Doesn't replace that class. It just allows you to take it. Under item 7C this evening, I have several budgets for you for the summer. These are traditionally pretty much the same as they've been in years gone by. We have trimmed down a little bit again this year. I will be bringing to you next meeting the summer school budget. I have some concerns on summer school, and we'll be hopefully having some time to talk about those. But this evening we have the maintenance budget for the summer maintenance crew. That is our grounds crew. As you know, during the winter we cut that back to about 4 people, and then during the summer we have to have a little more help because of the number of sites we own. The special education extended school year, that is a mandate by law that we continue to offer that. Mrs. Fitz and her staff do a great job of that. Mrs. Fitz, would you like to say anything this evening regarding that? We are expanding it this year, an additional day during the week because of some requirements that are out there. We are a high-profile special ed district, and we get a lot of attention, but they do a great job at special services, and we appreciate that. The reading sufficiency, that is money that comes to us for that express purpose, and so it is not money coming out of the district budget. It's money that's sent to us to do exactly what we're doing with it, that is improve reading scores. We use part of it during the year, and then we use part of it in the summer to do an academy to keep those kids that are struggling active in the reading during the summer months. Title I at Adams and Title I at Pat Henry are very much like the reading sufficiency, only they're funded through the federal program of Title I. The reading sufficiency money is state money. Title I is federal money. And those budgets are for your perusal. They start on page 4 and go through. They are virtually identical to what we did in prior years with the exception of the SY, which is the special ed budget, and it's a little bit higher because we have a longer period that we will have those students in class. I would ask for your approval of that this evening.
Move for approval.
I second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. John?
Yes.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes.
Ms. Ronio?
Yes.
And Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Dr. Schutz?
Yes.
That is the superintendent's report for this evening.
Thank you, Barry. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Motion to approve?
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Ronio?
Yes.
Ms. John?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes.
Dr. Schutz?
Yes. Superintendent's personnel report.
Thank you, Mr. Schutz. Item 13A, I would ask you to vote to approve the employing, promoting, disciplining, and receiving of resignations of individuals certified and support salary personnel as listed on pages 108 and 110. I would point out to you on page 108, the resignation of Mr. Robert Rochelle. Actually, it's a retirement. Mr. Rochelle has received an opportunity to return to work for the federal government, and it's one of those offers he could not refuse. And so he will be leaving us at the end of spring break, and we will be advertising for that job in the next couple of weeks. He did some really good things for that program over there and got us started in a new direction, and I think we owe to him a debt of gratitude for helping us get that direction going, and we're sorry to see him move on, but we wish him the best.
Will he be leaving us in a military position, or is it a civilian position?
It's a civilian position, and actually is going to be working, I believe, as the deputy education and instructor out there, and he hopefully will continue to be in education, just not in public education. So.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Chester?
Yes.
Ms. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes.
Ms. John?
Yes.
Dr. Schutz?
Yes. Consideration of any new business. Next board meeting date is set for Monday, April 2nd, 2012.
I would like to inform the board right now, we need to move the Thursday, April 19th meeting to the 25th of April, 23rd of April, which is a Monday. That should be a relatively short meeting as well, but we have a conflict on the 19th. And then on June 21st, and I know that seems like a long way out, we will meet at Shoemaker because there's a conflict in this room. That's the only one we have for the rest of the year. But June 21st, we will be back at Shoemaker. That should be our end of the year business meeting. Does not usually last very long, but you will have a lot of information that will be disseminated to you. So.
We need a motion for that or not?
I move for approval.
No,
No,
needed.
we don't need one.
No, we don't need one at this point. We have time to post it.
Okay. Board announcements. Consider a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Chester?
Yes.
Ms. Romeo?
Yes.
Ms. John?
Yes.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes.
Dr. Schutz?
Yes.
So clunky.